Hello, good evening, and welcome to your favorite show on national television, Crossroads, always brought to you by the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports as part of its virtual youth development program. As always, I am your host, Kareem Nelson, and tonight I'm joined with, always,
and I am Jaka Wooding. And Kareem, before we really start off, I just need to say welcome back.
Yes, thank you.
What did you think of the last episode? Of course, our producer was holding your spot for the while.
Yeah, I think Barry did a great job of holding it down, taking the lead, and I appreciate him for taking the mantle in my absence. So I appreciate him.
So I think that means he did a good job, and we're looking to continue in that pace today. All right, Kareem, since you missed out on the last episode, I'm going to give you the opportunity to intro this guest, who I think we're going to have a great episode with. All
right, this evening in our midst, we have a king. One of the funniest guys probably in St. Lucia right now, and also our reigning calypso king, Dezrel. So just you want to say hello to the people?
Hello, good night. I'm Dezrel Long.
All right, well, this is an interview we wanted to have for a while. You had a very busy carnival season, but we had our eyes on you even before that. So to speak about how much content we have been working on with you, you wear a lot of hats, and I'm glad we're going to be exploring them this evening.
Yeah, we're going to be exploring a lot of hats. But for those who may not know who Dezrel is, I don't know how someone may not know. Can you just tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Oh, this one is the worst part. Yeah. So, my name is Dezrel Long. I'm currently a teacher at Bocage Secondary. I love making funny videos. I love making music, writing skits, and all that kind of stuff. Love making people laugh and laughing myself. I'm a weird, strange individual. And yeah, that's basically
I would say, well, I'd imagine that your ideas of your content and your jovial attitude is something that allows you to connect with your students better, because I think that a lot of the time people think that young teachers connect with students easily because of the smaller age gap, but in my experience, at least when I was in school, that was not the case at all. So it would be a battle for respect. So what's it been like for you connecting with your students?
It's been really cool, actually. They knew me before, obviously. So when I came in, I was like, oh, this, comedian or whatever. But I think they respect me enough because, there's time for fun and there's time for, seriousness. So that's that. But it's been pretty good. I love my students very much.
All right, now talking about fun and seriousness, I feel like you gave us fun and seriousness this carnival season. Because calypso and power soca, Kareem, you got a chance to check out both genres from Dezrel?
Yeah, I got a chance to check out both. I think I was leaning more to the calypso, just my personal preference. But I just like to say you did a fantastic job, especially in your debut season. I'd like to commend you for that.
Thank you.
But we've introduced the public to you, but we just want to give them maybe a bit of a visual as to who Dezrel is. So I'd just like to invite our viewers tonight to take a glimpse at who Dezrel is.
I'm fed up with Lucian politicians. Both yellow and red is pure frustration. You send me to suffer in a stadium. Over 14 years of gross neglection.
Hello, my name is Brenda Long, and I'm Dezrel's mom. Dezrel as a child. When Dezrel was about 2.5, I would say, well, he had a nanny, and I bought him a storybook in order for her to engage him in reading. And one day I picked up the book and I held Dezrel and I started reading to him. And Dezrel started reading the book, and I'm like, do you know what you're reading? And then he said, And so I kept the book open, and then I realized the child is reading the book. So I put him down and I went to call my husband. And I told my husband, Dezrel is reading. And then he said that he memorized everything that the babysitter was telling him, and so that's why he's reading. I kept on, and we went back. I kept on turning the pages, and the child just kept on reading the book. And oh my God, I couldn't understand that. He read the entire book. Then when he reached about, when he was about 4 or 5, I would take him to my aunt's home, and then he would read the children's kindergarten books. And we just couldn't understand how a child that, reading like that. But he started very, very young. This is just how this child has been. Very, very intelligent. He does not say much. Dezrel grew up. He went to Camille Henry. The teacher said that he was a little talkative in class, which I was very happy about because he doesn't really say much. But when he gets home, he wouldn't say much. He went to St. Mary's College. The teachers at St. Mary's College, his homeroom teacher would say that he's a chatterbox. But we would still find it a little strange because when he gets here, he doesn't really say anything much. And so I would always call him into my room, and we would chat. And then I said, this is the side that we don't really know. So this is where we spend most of our time in my room, that we speak a lot and we say a lot of things. He tells me a lot of things. And this is where he told me that he wanted to sing calypso. And I told my husband that Dezrel wants to sing calypso. We both look at each other like, Dezrel doesn't really say much. How is he going to sing calypso on this big stage? And I said, remember, if you're going to sing calypso, you're going to sing calypso with the big guns. And he said, there's nothing such as big guns. Everybody is the same on stage. And there's no big stage. The stage is the same, Mommy. And I said, no, it's a big stage. He said, no, the stage is the same. And so we went through it and everything. And before the calypso shows, before the Saturday, I said to him, go and look at the stage. And he went on the Thursday before Soca Monarch, and he came and he said, the stage is not a big stage. And then I said, okay, if it's not a big stage, you will have a lot of people looking at you. And he said, this is what I want. I want people there. I get a hype when I see a lot of people and I'm on stage. And this thing just reminds me so much of my husband, because you have to know those two people to understand. These people sing on stage, and when they're done, they go back in their shell. Dezrel performed, and backstage, Dezrel went right back into his shell. Same thing as my husband for 37 years. He would sing calypso, and then he would go right back into his shell, as if he was never the one singing. I don't understand this, I really don't.
Hi, I'm Jamal Long, the brother of Dezrel Long. It's been the first from the family. Of course, you always get to try things out the first time, whether it goes right, whether it goes wrong. Being the first means you get the first step in for everything. And of course, with Dezrel being the last, we have the girls in the middle. I basically had to set the precedence for the entire family, I should say. And of course, Dezrel, the last, I had to be the big brother to him, and not only for the girls. So with him, he was very introvert, soft speaker. He's not very outspoken. Of course, if you ask him anything, he would be very intelligently, he would answer you. But even myself was even more surprised when he went into the calypso arena. Because with someone that is so introverted to themselves, everything they do usually by themselves, or very, very few friends. And to go in front of the public stage like this, it's like, really, he's not doing that, because he would never, never do that. And I think the first time, if I remember clearly, that he ever went public or in front of a stage was at the Talfest at college. He was the host. And I think from there, his little comedy side started showing, even with the promo for the Talfest show. his theater as teacher also pushed him into doing it. So I think not only with the music, but with the twist of the comedy, or to make you smile or look at something differently, was always there.
Yeah, my name is Dezrel Long, and I think most persons would know me as the Mighty Pep. I mean, I've been in the calypso arena since 1986. I've had 8 monarch titles, and the last time I checked, about 15 first runner-up. So it's been a long, career in the business of calypso. And I mean, currently, I've taken a backstage for the moment, and allow my son to go ahead and see what, how he can face off in the calypso competition. When he was 5 years old, I remember him at one of the summer camps doing a show at the end of the camp, and he sang the song Blue. Blue was one of my compositions. It's a song in the minor, and it was a 4-verse long song, and he actually sang all 4 verses, and I found that really remarkable. It gave me an insight into how he had been watching me and how he has been following me on stage, because he was only 5 years, and usually at 5 years children are not into this sort of calypso vibe and so forth. But I figured he'd been watching me so much, and I never had to actually teach him the song. He'd probably been hearing the song so often that year that he learnt it himself. And when he was asked to perform it at the cultural center, he did. And later on in the year, at the Miss Big and Beautiful show that year, they asked him to do a performance of the song, and he sang the 4 verses of Blue. I mean, effortlessly. So from then on, I realized that he had that talent, He had that good talent. He can memorize the songs and actually perform the songs, His performance on stage at that time, was par excellence. So I realized from that time that he was someone, destined to be on stage. Well, before Dezrel, along with my writer, Ron Sion, we were always looking at, if the possibility that if I were to retire, if I were to just, get out of the calypso scene, who would we write for? Who do we see in the arena there, or any young person coming up who would have, actually fitted in my shoes in that sense, I never expected it would have been Dezrel, because yes, he's into the arts, he's a lot into the entertainment. He does his little comedy and humorous skits and so forth, but I didn't think at that he would be the one to go deep into the calypso, because yes, he started early singing it, but as he grew up, he was more into pop music, and he was a serious Michael Jackson fan and lots of other pop music, So I didn't think that he would want to do it, but after he performed at the Legacy shows on 2 occasions, and the last one being last year, in February this year, 2023, that was the last Legacy show. A lot of persons were suggesting to me that it seemed like the boy ready to take the stage. You look like that boy going to take over from you, because his whole demeanor on stage, his action, the way he performs, everybody sort of kept saying that he's a reflection of me. So he started going through the routine of working out the songs, and then we gave him the second song, and based on how I saw him performing, performing the songs at home, I told myself, yeah, he's ready. I was a bit surprised, of how fast he got, he learned the songs, and how he got into the sort of stage theatrics and thing. And I feel very great. As a matter of fact, the very first night when I went to the first tent he performed in, I was so emotional, tears started running down my eyes, because I couldn't believe I was seeing myself and my son on stage, doing what I love best. Music is my hobby, and I'm seeing him performing Pep on stage. I was extremely emotional, and of course, when he did come through and win, I can't describe. Honestly, I can't describe the feeling that I had inside of me when that moment came.
Are you coming, Cecilia? Are you coming? Rosemary, St. Mary and Joseph will be joining. You have to come, St. Aloysius, Prince St. Teresa, and Matthew St. Lucia, all the way, look she there. Calling on the stage. It's time for action. No procrastination. St. Jude must be rescued.
Wow, I'd just like to say, wow, what a really interesting story. And I think the general theme I got from mostly everyone is that they never really expected that from you. They were sort of surprised. But the one thing I want to zone in right now, your father said that it brought him to tears seeing you on stage perform. So I want to throw that to you. How did it feel for you? To kind of, as your song rightly said, carry on the legacy that your father has. What did it mean to you?
Meant a lot because, well, from the time I knew myself, I was hearing calypso, seeing calypso. So to actually achieve that was very remarkable for me and a very special moment that I'll cherish forever. So yeah.
Amazing.
So just to go back, your family said that they never expected that from you. But how do you do it? How do you go from the chill, laid-back Dezrel to go on the stage and kind of take on these roles and perform like that?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, the stage is just a zone, and then when you get there, you just go in that zone, and then you go backstage, and then it's like almost out of the zone. So I couldn't tell you definitely what it is, but it's just that zone. It's just that feeling. It's just, I don't know, something magical being on stage.
That's interesting. Yeah.
All right, so for you, is this a beginning to seeing you take the stage in future years, or is it a one and done, I wanted to do this and I've accomplished it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Anything that happens. I would love to do it again because I really love performing, so I don't think it would be one and done. No, because I love it, and also the reception of the people, and so I think I'll be there in the future, hopefully.
All right, great. Well, we're looking forward to it. Now, Karim did mention that he was certainly a fan of your calypso songs this season. I was as well. You did an amazing job. But I have to say my favor really lied with his power soca. Right? When you came out in the outfit, a good job on that. I was in the crowd, of course, with Vanessa.
Sure.
Of course, everybody was vibing. What was it like for you not only taking the stage with calypso? I mean, it's a totally different zone, as you mentioned, on the stage for power soca.
Sure.
So how did you manage that, and what was the transition like for you?
It was crazy because I had work and then I had 2 sets of rehearsals, so that's before. But then when it came to the finals, well, I had a cough actually, so my voice was going. So
perfect for a song about a mask.
But then calypso is the one where I had to use my voice more, so I had to be wary of how I projected on the finals night, the soca finals night. But it was a very good experience, especially placing where I placed. It made me see like, okay, this is what I need to do, and watching all the other performances, like, okay, that should be bigger, that should be there. So it was cool, a very good experience. Having both sides of the spectrum, first and last.
All right, cool.
And being able to move the crowd both times.
Yes,
Sure.
both times.
Fair.
But I think when we, look back at this calypso season, well, soca and calypso, I think we're going to look back on it and say like, wow, you really had a historic kind of debut season.
Sure.
Because for you someone who's never really done it on that type of stage, to come out and win. So I just want to know, as a newcomer, how did it feel to kind of challenge some of those more veteran guys in the competition? Because I think I remember Tikaru actually in the final, he challenged someone to take his throne.
Right.
And then it was actually you who did that. So how did it feel competing against those guys?
Actually, I never really thought about it in that way. Like, oh, I'm going against like the veterans. Like it felt good going against these the veterans. But it wasn't scary in any way or like, oh boy, I was very confident in the songs. I understood the criteria, So I knew that they were strong songs, so that it wasn't phasing me that much. But yeah, but I love the experience and being around them and being in the dressing room, and it's like, whoa, like how many years these guys have been here and I just come in. So it's like, I love that experience, but yes.
All right, before we continue, I just want to let everybody know, of course, our comment section is open on Facebook. That's over on the Government of St. Lucia Facebook page. So if you have any questions for Dezrel, anything you'd like to know about him as we continue on today's show, you can send those through and we will be discussing them later on in the show.
All right. So just one more question for me. With preparing for like performing, the night is kind of just an amalgamation of the work that has went into. So while people may have seen you on the screen, walk us through the work that went behind it.
Well, first you have to learn the song, and I got these songs pretty late. Well, I got one song kind of early, but then the Calling All Saints, what time was it? It was June 3rd, I think I got the song. So that's like a month. So first you have to learn the song. And then when you learn the song, then you can start to feel the song and what you would want to do and accentuate and all that kind of. So it was a lot of listening in the bathroom before showers, in the mirror, practicing moves. Like, I don't know if you all know that kind of spin thing I have with my leg up. Yeah, I practice that a lot. Like for it to come out.
Hopefully not in the shower.
Yeah, definitely in the shower. But I practice in the mirror first, and then after run and shower, it's like I still want to practice it. So it's a lot of that, a lot of listening to it while I was going to work, or just listening. Became pretty frustrating. Like at a point in time, I wanted to listen to some other stuff, but you just had to do it. And yeah, that's what preparing for performance was kind of like. It wasn't very difficult, but it took some work and conceptualizing.
All right, well, we are enjoying hearing about your progress and your process that you take behind the scenes getting everything done. Of course, we will be continuing conversations with Dezrel and asking more questions as well as your questions from our comment section down below right after this break.
If you are in receipt of an abnormally high bill, it is highly possible that you have a leak. That leak may not always be visible. Before you contact WASCO, conduct a do-it-yourself test. 1. Record your meter reading. 2. Do not use water for 30 minutes to 1 hour. 3. Take another meter reading. If the reading changes, you have a leak. Contact a plumber to identify and fix the leak at the earliest. A message brought to you by the Water and Sewage Company Incorporated, WASCO.
And we are back. Of course, we could not make you wait too long because the conversation has been flowing so well. I know Karim still has a lot of questions for Dezrel. He was quaking during that commercial break. So Karim, take it away.
So I just want to stick on the aspect of calypso just for 1 second. With the song Legacy, how you kind of fulfill that song, to be honest, so where did that kind of come from? What was the thought process behind that song? Just walk me through that.
I wouldn't know. I just well, Mr. Sion wrote it, so I wouldn't know the thought process in its entirety, but I suppose after the performance at the Legacy show and people asking, would I be singing and all that, that was a key factor in creating or writing the song. And then just the whole me filling my father's shoes or coming and do what my father has been doing. I suppose that's where that whole legacy idea came from.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, you said that was your final question for Calypso. Of course, we have a lot more questions for you. You have been engaged in so much. And I think it's something that the ministry always encourages, that young people are multifaceted. Like, COVID came along and nobody knew what was going on. So everybody was reaching to try out different things and really solidify their place and their network in the world. And I think that kind of gave you a chance to bloom as well. So what else have you been involved in? We heard about a clothing brand. So I want to hear a bit about that too.
The YRS brand, Young, Rich and Sexy, is my brother-in-law's brand. So go on the store and go get yourself some YRS. Yeah, that's what it's about.
All right, we heard the story is coming soon, so of course we're looking out for that. Now, I did mention the pandemic earlier on. What was that period of time like for you? I have to tell you, you were one of the people who helped me get through that with your comedy. So, is the pandemic something that would have encouraged you in your content creation time? And how did you zone in during that time to really work on yourself?
That's good questions, you know. I wasn't really thinking about it that much in terms of, oh, we're in a pandemic, or I think I just get the urge to create and just create, whatever time it may be. So I don't think I was thinking of it. It probably spawned some ideas, like, you know, some themes relating to it, but I don't think it affected my process that much. Yeah.
All right, well, like I said, I've been following your content for a bit, and I know before the fully produced songs, I should say, we had a couple lesser known tracks. I'll leave that up to St. Lucia to go find those. But you have certainly been working for a while. Later on the show, we're actually going to be talking about his comedy, so I don't even want to get into that as well. But you, like I said, you wear a lot of hats. So we have Dezrel, the teacher. We have Dezrel on stage. And we have a character we like to call Purple Crab, who we'll be talking to later on in the show.
Yeah, I'm interested in meeting Purple Crab. But, you know, we spoke about the calypso, and then Jaka just made mention of some of your more, I guess, social media hits. Is music as an art form something that you're very much interested in? Because, I mean, we have the One Shot, I Boom Already, we have your calypso tracks. Where does that love for music come from?
I don't know, that's something that is very natural. I've always wanted to make it, I've always wanted to write it. I have a lot of music and instrumentals that on the computer I do intend on sharing, which I just make for fun and all that kind of stuff. But it's a passion of mine, as arts on a whole, but music and drama are my two things. So it's been a while since I've been making music. But I tried to use comedy first to get known and then show my music skills after. So that was some sort of a plan, you know.
So do you have any songs in the chamber to be released soon?
Oh yeah, man. Soon. So yes, look forward to that.
You're looking forward to a music video?
Oh, of course.
Oh, of course. Okay. I have to wonder, since you're so involved in the arts, what's the subject that you're teaching?
Well, I was hired to teach a remedial class, to co-teach, but I do have some theatre arts classes.
All right. Well, it seems we'll have to give Mr. Elise a call to find out what's going on with Dezrel.
Right. But you spoke earlier about, you know, the students kind of reacting to you as a teacher. Is that ever difficult? You know, getting is that ever difficult? You know, because putting myself in a child's situation, and I see Dezrel in front of me. You know, I would be like, I'd maybe struggle to take you serious, maybe personally. Sure. Is that something that you have had to deal with as a teacher?
I think that's just probably a general thing with youth. I don't think it's because I'm doing comedy or anything, but so it has been an issue. But I don't think it's because of me. But most of the times when they make fun, it's very funny because they'll probably just shout a lyric across the school. It's not. It's funny. It's not welcome, but it's funny because it happens. So, or they just quote something from Purple Crab or a video. So that's actually cool.
But in that respect, would you say that working with younger people is something that you genuinely enjoy?
Oh, of course, because there are a bunch of fresh minds, you know, that can be molded and taught new things, and also like the young people around my age, I suppose, you know, just fresh ideas to be shared and, you know, discussed and worked upon. So yes, I love working with young people.
All right, and speaking of working with young people, I heard that it's about time we check up what the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports has been up to. Let's see what they have.
Thanks for tuning into Crossroads tonight. My name is Randy Joseph, and this is everything happening with the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports.
The Trailblazers 5-day summer camp catered to the children between the ages of 11 and 16 from the communities of Marsha, Bakatel, Rock Hall, Bishop's Gap, and Randall Hill. These children participated in activities which aided in self-discovery, such as baking, painting, and several team-building activities. Several sporting summer camps also took place throughout the island at various locations, including at the VG Complex and the St. Joseph's Convent Secondary School. The Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, with the St. Lucia National Sports Association, held a retreat at Bay Gardens Hotel on Saturday, August 20th.
We need to continue to promote healthy lifestyles and beyond. And so the longer we can keep our people engaged in sports, the better we will be as a society. And so they've encouraged us to encourage every association to include a veterans component to their activities.
Of course, the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports has been busy. Some powerful words from the minister there. You are watching Crossroads. Right now we're heading to a quick commercial break, but stay tuned because we will be right back.
Are you looking to broaden your career opportunities? Future-proof your career with a bachelor's degree from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. We've introduced new cutting-edge degree programs in environmental studies and sustainability, tourism and hospitality, business administration, and public health. Online platforms are making it easier than ever before to further your education. Unmask your competitive advantage. This is the game changer you've been waiting for. Get the highest return on your investment in the OECS from the college you trust. Visit salcc.edu.lc. Apply today for September 2021.
All right, welcome back, viewers, to Crossroads. Remember, always brought to you by the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports as part of its virtual youth development program. Before we took a break, we were talking to Dezrel more about his, I guess with a greater focus was placed on the music. But before that, I mean, before you became Calypso King, I think you were a household name for more so your comedy, your skits, your sketches, and the famous Purple Crab. So before we speak to you directly about that, we want to show our viewers a video of your comedy sketches.
All right, we're having some technical difficulties, but that gives me a chance to talk about how much I enjoyed your videos during the pandemic, because of course it's a period of time where you can't really connect with people, but then seeing you on TikTok, you still brought that authentic St. Lucian type of vibe. So drowned out in the rest of the Caribbean, we had this glimpse of purely St. Lucian content that we could relate to.
Oh really? I should get back on there.
You need to come back on TikTok. This is your burning bush moment.
Don't worry, I'll come back.
So is there any, okay, well, that's one idea I should say, but is there any plan to continue with your comedy, and what's your content been like recently?
I've been going into interviews, interviewing people I find interesting.
Okay.
So that's that. I want to go into more serious skits for a little, not totally, just to do some, because it's been comedy for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just want to take different approaches in my content, and I hope to have fun with that. It will be fun.
It's good to see that you're not really, yes, you're focused on what you're doing, but you're not anchoring yourself to one thing. You're reaching out here, you're reaching out there, you're seeing what's working. Is that something that you say has always been part of your character, or is it something that you've developed growing up?
Sorry, could you repeat? Sorry.
So, in terms of your personality, is it something where you've always been interested in, you know, trying out different things, seeing what works, or is it something that, you know, developed over time?
No, I think I like to keep doing the same old thing.
Really?
Just like the music I listen to, I don't really listen to anything new. So, but in terms of arts, I do like to be limited. So I want to see if I could do any and everything. As long as I like it and I think it makes sense, I'll try it, I'll do it.
So outside of music and comedy, are there any other areas of the arts that you're interested in?
Dance a little.
Oh, that's where the move came in with the leg.
Yeah, kinda. I haven't placed a lot of focus on it. I think I can, you know, based on being in the mirror in my bathroom. But yeah, it's very interesting art form to me, because you know, why are you using your body to do something? This is weird and it's very interesting. So yeah, I don't know if you might see me doing a lot of dancing, maybe, but yeah.
All right. So I think we might just as well, just received some good news. The video is there, so we just like to provide solutions with just a little insight into the more comedic side of Dezrel.
My name is Dezrel Long Sinclair. I am the second sibling of my parents' 4 children. Growing up with Dezrel, oh my God, I gave him his middle name, which is Tariq, and this is the name we go by. Everybody calls him at home. Tariq used to call me Mummy. Along with my other siblings, we took care of him, but he was very, very close to me, and he would call me Mommy all the time. I loved that. Anyway, so we grew up, we had kids, and our kids started calling him Uncle Ta. So everybody now in the family calls him Uncle Ta. Our friends call him Uncle Ta, because when we post statuses of him, we use Uncle Ta. Uncle Ta has just always been a very, very reserved individual, very calm, very quiet. Persons would come up to us, and when they see his comedy and be like, oh my God, Twyla, your brother is this and your brother is that. And I'm like, okay, we're seeing it together with y'all. It's not something that he shares with us beforehand, so we get to see it before. And I was shocked myself, because I don't know him to be that type of person. I know him to always be in his room, to always be in the studio. I know his love for music. He has a very, very big love for music. Michael Jackson, oh my God, frustrates me. And he would come over and do his dance moves, Michael Jackson dance moves, which I hate. But he laughs because he knows that I hate it that much. It's just annoying, and not anything bad about it. His comedy, amazing, funny, so different from what we see. It is so, I don't even know the words to describe it, but we're just so very, very excited all the time, and very happy to see what he comes up with. His imagination is like, oh my God, it's just incomparable. Like, he's my favorite. I don't have a favorite video. I love them all. I swear, I love them all. They all make me laugh. All make me laugh. I love them all.
My name is Dezrel Long, the sister of Dezrel. I'm the third of 4 children. Dezrel, my little brother, he was born at least 12 years after me. I know I look younger, right? In any case, Dezrel was born gifted. He was the gifted child, I would say. Okay, let's not even get started with the comedy. Oh my goodness. Dezrel's comedy I find to be very original. He doesn't just go to the normal comedy where everybody knows what's expected. His creative mind just goes beyond. So where you'd expect, if a man and his person is quarreling, it's probably for marital issues. It will be something totally different. It's probably because the man probably went to shop. Something so different. So I think that's what I love about his comedy. It's not the normal comedy. So one of my favorites, of course, is when he just started in there, where he had that kung fu skit, and he was in the bushes and he was like, "Sire!" Oh my goodness, I put that all over. Everyone loved it. So I think that just brings. So if he does not want to do music one year, his creativity is so diverse that he will just do the comedy and it will just be exceptional. But hey, that's my brother and I'm really proud of him.
Dezrel's comedy skits, I love all of them. My sister, my eldest sister, Twyla, she'll say I'm a groupie. I tell her, why not? He's my brother. I love all. And not just like it, I will comment. I will give him little pointers as well. I know most of his creative ideas come from, like you say, everyday people, everyday situations. But I will also look at some other things that I can maybe help out, in other words, and just just let him know, well, you can do this, you can do that. maybe just a little inspiration, a little motivation here and there, you know. And I love when they do when they were looking for, when he came, sire, they have attacked the villagers. That was one of my favorites. And of course, now that he's trying out the vlogging, which is very new to him, you would never know that it's new to him, because he picked it up so quickly and he went with it. I think now he has 2 or 3, and a lot of persons now are asking for more. So I think the comedy-wise, he's going right out. He's knocking it off the ballpark, and I think he has it hands down. And I think you can expect a lot more, you know, vlogging or even the comedy sketches from him. I think he has almost over 20 to 30 between the sketches and even local advertisements that he himself went into.
The comedy, we love the comedy. I saw this other side of him. When he would just do his thing, I guess when we're upstairs or when we're not there, he would do it like we would view it like everybody else. He would not tell us firsthand that he's doing these things, you know, because most of it has been done inside the house. And then I would have always told him, you know, where to get it done, but he would do his thing. And then it's amazing how this individual can do those videos and we don't see it as, it's just 2 different things. So there's Dezrel, there's the videos, and there's Calypso. We're yet to put all those 3 things together with that one person. The favorite video by Dezrel for me is when he told the guy that he can order anything. He can bring down anything for customs. Anything at all. Anything he wants to bring down from customs, he can, because he has a link. And the guy ended up bringing down an elephant. This was one of my favorites, you know, from him. You know, because I cannot believe that if somebody asks you to bring down anything, and there's so many things you can bring down, but you go in right to Africa and bring down an elephant, you know, that kind of thing. So that was really amazing, you know.
No, well, first to begin with the comedies that he have, that he has online. So first, the creativity. It always, I mean, I'm always taken back by how he was able to just pick little things that you would least expect persons to, you know, to have on their mind. It wouldn't be mainstream thought. He would take that and change it into a comedy, make people laugh. Now, like I say, at home, he's not the kind of person who cracks jokes or is always jovial and, you know, giving things. He's very reserved. So when he comes out and he puts these little scripts out, I mean, I always freak out because, I mean, I like humor. I mean, I'm crazy about humor and comedy and stuff. And to see that he's able to do that in a very subtle way, you know, with topics and events that people, you know, it's not like the run of the mill sort of things in life. And he takes these things and put it into a way that all walks of life. I meet elderly people in my office who tell me they enjoy my son comedy. There are young folks, teenagers, you know, persons from all walks of life who always look out for his comedies. And they tell me that. So, I mean, it's that creative aspect of him that, like I said, that I realized he had from very early on.
So, during that video, your family members they were just speaking about the comedy and they could barely contain their laughter. But what was more interesting is that they were like, we've never seen Dezrel. So, do you hide to make these videos? Do you?
Oh no, I don't. But I usually need silence, so I pick a time when they're in their room, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm making a video. Shh. Or sometimes they'll just see me walking with a wig, and they're like, oh, you're gonna make a video. So yeah. So I don't hide. I don't share it. They ask me to send it in the group, like before I post it. That I don't do. Go see it for yourself.
Even the family members have to add to the views, you know.
Yeah,
the social media thing is serious.
Yes, it's very serious.
I think it was very interesting that your brother mentioned, what did he say they called him, a groupie?
A groupie,
because
yeah.
Honestly, I can say from my experience, he's one of your biggest fans. I remember during Carnival seeing him and his wife both decked out in their Dezrel merch. So it's really great to see that you have that kind of support throughout. Tell us about how that has been for you. I mean, throughout your journey, I'm sure it's something that's helped you stay consistent.
Yes. Well, as I think all creatives go for this self-doubt kind of thing. So having support and people tell you you're doing fine, you're doing well, and you can tweak this and do this better, like it's really, really, really important. And I kind of saw that in like calypso and soca. I was handling soca by myself, and I let them do the calypso because obviously, you know, they're veterans in that. And it was almost like for calypso I had to do nothing but just to sing. So the support was really important and necessary for me to just execute. So I'm very thankful for the support of my family, my friends, and the wider public. Thank you very much.
See, family, maybe you might get that video in the group chats one day.
Probably. Maybe tomorrow.
But just speak to me. How did you go from maybe recognizing that you're maybe a funny guy and then deciding to put it on social media? Because from the feeling I'm getting from your family is that from their perspective you're kind of more of an introvert. So how did you kind of decide, hey, might as well try my luck at publishing this online?
Well, at school I always used to do characters, like I'd hang out with my friends and just do, you know, a southerner from the States, or just random stuff, stupid stuff. And they're like, that's how you should make videos, guys. And I'm like, why, man, why? Like, you know, I just having fun, like. And then I guess after a couple of years, I really thought about it. But then I started working with Spud and doing the whole purple crab kind of stuff. So that made me say like, maybe I can do this, you know. But it was after the traction and people, because I really do like to fail, honestly. I don't mind, but I don't like to do things where it's like, wow, boy.
Somebody write that quote down.
So after the traction and people started saying like, okay, he's funny, and I was like, okay, maybe I can do it. So yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Purple Crab, because of course we would love to meet him. What was the thought behind this character? How did Purple Crab come on the scene?
Okie dokie. So Spud, Ant, and I wanted to do a series based off a therapist, that kind of. So that's the idea they pitched to me. So I came there one day, and a couple of days before that I was eating Chinese food, and I eat really messy, you know. So I was using both of my hands. So my friend's brother was like, hey, I said, he's a purple crab, man. Because, you know, the gun is. So that was really funny. Me and my friend laughed, and then I came to shoot the thing, and I had no character. I think I named him something else, and then I just wasn't feeling it, and then Purple Crab came to mind. Now I'm like, yeah, that sounds, yeah, that was cool. So that was the origin of that name. As for the character, it was something that developed over time, because if you watch the first video to the last video, you'll see a very clear difference in the character. So I love playing him, it's very cool. Me and him are not the same person.
Clearly.
when I rewatched the video, I was like, what? This guy's crazy. Like, why would you even say that? So yeah. And I have no recollection of what I say. We shoot, I talk nonsense for like an hour. They edit it for like 2 weeks or whatever, and then I see it. So sometimes I'm surprised as much as you all are.
But what was it like for you seeing kind of the response that character got from the public? Because I think it's one of the more memed videos, stickers, ranging from stickers to memes to sound bites. So
back on the work.
Yeah, back on the work. So just talk to me about that reception as a creative, because I mean, as a creative, you want people to accept your work. So just speak about that.
All I can say is crazy, because it was early in me trying stuff. And to see videos do 12,000, 15,000, like, what? What's happening? And then people from Dominica telling me they love the video. I'm like, what? It's close, but it's still crazy that something is reaching outside of the country. Right. So that was really wild for me to see. So it gave me more confidence to kind of do what I'm doing now. Yes.
All right. And speaking about what you're doing now, I can't help but notice, but most of these videos seem as though you're filming them yourself, especially those on Instagram. What is that process like for you? Because is it like you do this in one take? What kind of goes in that?
Well, let me first say my nephew, Dezrel Stanislas, was the cameraman behind some of the biggest videos, especially the Plaza Te and all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much whenever you watch this to you. But I don't know, I come up with a concept. I don't necessarily have dialogue or lines, and I just try stuff out. So it will take plenty takes sometimes. Just getting something right, watching it over, and I do like that, go back, and sometimes I keep forgetting to play a whole character, and I'm editing, I'm like, wait, I don't have this guy.
Someone's missing.
Right. Yeah. So, because somebody talking to the guy, he's turning his head, and there's no clip. So I have to go back, put on a shirt, and go. So sometimes it's crazy, sometimes it's easy. Sometimes the concept is really easy. Sometimes it's a lot harder than I notice. Yeah, so sometimes it's a lot more work than I recognize.
So you're saying there's a lot of unseen footage that the public hasn't been...
Plenty.
We might need a bloopers video.
I have a couple, you know, and I lost a lot of footage too. But I should probably take time to make more, because it's really funny.
Now, I noticed you did mention the Platate video, and that video was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think one of the important things that highlights is that creatives can help each other.
Yes.
Because before that video, I personally had not heard the song yet, and that really pushed me to go and listen to the song, and I love the song. So, working with other creatives in St. Lucia, is that something that you have interest in? Is that something that we'll see continuing? Of course, you had mentioned Spud and Tanai early on in your career. What's it looking like going forward?
I just want to work with everybody I can, everybody I click with and have a good vibe with. So there's Joey, the musician. I intend to work with him, but he's away now, so when he gets back, there's the Vision, Jaden.
Of course.
We have a little song coming out soon, so that's
can't
cool.
wait.
My interviews with all the other people, you know, just getting information from them. So I want to work with people, a lot of people, because working together, unity is power, so all that is cool. And I was just want to touch back on the Platate thing. Everybody was saying like, oh, I hope he pay you, but I hope that man give you something. And I was like, but why? Look, I just doing that video, I got a lot of views. My page was booming for a while, and he got a chance to travel and have his song known. So why should I? You know, why should I? It was a mutual benefit. So that's cool, and we should continue that kind of stuff because it'll help the country.
I love how he uses booming in his regular vocabulary. The real fans will understand why.
Yes.
So, but you speak about working with artists, but I think this is more of one of a funnier question. But during that whole time, you know, people were like, I think at that same time the Independence playlist was going on, and then I think your Platate version came out before, and people were wondering, where's Dezrel? And then even more recently with the Megabyte song, New Bird. So just speak about those kind of responses you get from the public when you do actually do music or help out other artists.
It makes me feel bad when people say things like, boy, may do that better than, or whatever. But I like helping out and making people's arts, you know, seen and known, because that's all we strive for as artists, for people to recognize and know our work. So yeah, it feels really good.
All right. Well, we just got some great news.
Fantastic news.
We've been speaking about Dezrel's comedy, and apparently we have a video. So are you ready to check out the video?
I'm ready.
Let's check out the video.
What's gonna happen here? Clarence, I mean, I suppose you could see his condition, and without the operation, I'm afraid he won't last long. And operations like these could easily cost upward of $30,000. 30 G's, you say, boy, doc? Wow, I guess we even have that kind of money, I guess. Without it, I mean, you might have to say goodbye, sadly. Why? I mean, you could always try and start a GoFundMe or something so people could donate, so that they, you know, you could accumulate some cash. But apart from that, I think this is almost coming to an end of sorts. So. Alright, Doc, we'll go check on that and we will come back and see what's going on. That's a blind me, that's a... We will get 40 grand, guys. Even the said, guys. Wow. And I'm going to say that I'm going to die, guys. We're just going to go fund me. I'm going to get 30 grand, guys. Doc, we happen to get the money, Doc, from the GoFundMe, Doc. I'm sorry, guys, that Carmichael passed away. Yeah, so if you'd like to say your last words or something, go ahead. The passport working, man. What happened in the road Dubai later, man? Yeah, no, I can book the hotel and all. Don't even worry about that. Yes, see, villa, hotel, anything. Yeah. You done? So you even go leave 5 grand to bury the man? We will just throw them in the sea, guys. Oh, I have a pan that making coals. Just throw them in the coals and then cremation on time. Good. Yeah. So you see that? You have 2 girls you can bring. Everything good. Irie. Them people over there, my passport good too. I can come.
Yeah, man.
Now I know your dad did mention, how does he come up with these ideas? Very out of the box. But I think that says enough about that video. If people would like to view more of your videos, where can we get those online?
You can get them on Instagram at Just Dezrel, that's JUSTDEZRAL. On TikTok as well, Just Dezrel, the same spelling. On Facebook, Dezrel Long. Yeah.
All right, and you also do some work with advertising and tying your comedy into that. So if anybody would like to book you, how can they do that too?
You can send me a DM on Instagram, and yes, I'll be very pleased to help you out.
So what can St. Lucians expect from you in the future? Regardless, comedy, music, what can we expect from Dezrel?
Just really more Dezrel. So whether it be music, arts, interviews, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. So.
All right, we can't wait to see whatever you do. Make sure you go and give him a follow. Of course, we want to say thank you to all of you for tuning in. Of course, the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports and the Government Information Services. We have to say thank you to GIS for facilitating us and, holding our hands throughout the entire process. Thank you to the entire team. This has been Crossroads. Any final words from you, Karim?
I would just like to thank Dezrel for coming through. Really energetic kind of personality, really funny, had us laughing the whole show. So I appreciate you coming through, and hopefully we can maybe interview again when you have reached greater heights. So I just always thank the audience for tuning in. It has been yet another successful episode of Crossroads, and we will join you, and you'll join us next time for our next episode.
Are you looking to broaden your career opportunities? Future-proof your career with a bachelor's degree from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. We've introduced new cutting-edge degree programs in Environmental Studies and Sustainability, Tourism and Hospitality, Business Administration, and Public Health. Online platforms are making it easier than ever before to further your education and mask your competitive advantage. This is